little over a year after Southern Nevada's first medical marijuana dispensary opened, Nevada voters will head to the polls to decide whether or not to decriminalize marijuana in the state. Now, the issue is picking up traction, even though past efforts have failed. Patrick Walker joins us with a look at the latest effort. Patrick.
Well, Dave, in the last 15 years, groups have unsuccessfully tried 2 other times to decriminalize marijuana here in Nevada. Those were in 2002 and 2006. Now, the margin of defeat was about 20% in 02. Cut in half in 06, and as the perception continues to change across the country, advocates say this time they believe it will pass. As states begin legalizing marijuana, there are signs the stigma associated with it is beginning to fade.
I dreamed of it happening when I was in high school. Now to see it actually happening is kind of mundane.
Recreational pot is on the November ballot as Question 2, the Regulation and Taxation of Marijuana Act. Anyone 21 and over could purchase and possess up to 1 ounce of marijuana from a licensed dispensary. While prospective pot businesses expect to gain a lot of customers from the state's 2.8 million residents, Las Vegas's 40+ million annual tourists are expected to be a big boon to the legal weed industry.
I think that it should be a lot more accessible here in Vegas, just because this is one of the major cities and there's people here that come from all over the world.
First of all, it would bring like a lot of money in for, you know, the town or the city and stuff like that, but also because that's awesome, that would be just cool.
Recreational marijuana would have an extra 15% special tax. That money would cover the cost of regulating the program, with excess revenue funding K-12 education. If the initiative passes, existing medical marijuana establishments would be the only ones operating recreational dispensaries for the first year and a half. After that, initiative backers say the industry would open up to new businesses.
It will double the number of dispensaries, so it'll keep the existing medical marijuana dispensaries, and then it'll add twice that number, about 130.
If the initiative passes, it would take effect January 21st, 2017, and the Department of Taxation would then have a year to fully implement the regulatory program. Well, of course, we wanted to give you at home a chance to weigh in, and we're hearing from so many of you, actually well over 200 now, so we wanted to know what you think about legalizing recreational marijuana here in Nevada. Raymond told us he simply says it's odd that you could buy a liter of vodka, which would likely kill you if you drank it all at once, but you can't use a drug that you can't kill if you use too much of it, so that's one opinion there from Raymond. Chris tells us, yes, legalize it for recreational use here in Nevada. As we keep going, Jackie says it won't remove the dealers, so she's talking about that criminal element. And finally, we're hearing from Maria saying it's not a good idea because people die all the time from drinking. We really don't need people high behind the wheel. So, of course, if you want to jump in on the conversation, just go to our 8 News Now Facebook page and post under this post.